What do you do when God is silent? When the job doesn't come, the healing doesn't happen, the prayer goes unanswered, not for days, but for years. Have you ever felt like you're ready, but heaven still says, wait? You see others moving forward, doors opening, breakthroughs happening, but for you, it feels like time is standing still, and in the stillness, your faith starts to ache. But what if I told you that God's silence is not rejection, and His delay is not denial? What if the very thing you're calling a setback is part of a setup? Because when it comes to God's timing, it's not just about when, it's about why. And to truly understand why God makes us wait, we need to look at what He's doing behind the scenes. We live in a world that rushes everything. Fast delivery, fast success, fast answers. But God's not in a rush. He's in control. When He delays something, it's not to punish you, it's to prepare the stage. He's aligning hearts, shifting circumstances, and creating the exact moment where your blessing will not just arrive, it will thrive. Think about Joseph, thrown in a pit, forgotten in a prison, misunderstood and delayed. But when God moved, he went from prisoner to prime minister in a single day. The wait didn't stop the blessing, it set the perfect stage for it. So if it feels like your promise is taking too long, maybe it's just getting perfectly positioned. But what happens to us during that wait, that's what matters next. Waiting feels like nothing's happening, but that's often when God is doing His greatest work. Not around you, in you. Waiting builds strength you didn't know you needed. It kills pride. It teaches surrender. It forces you to depend, not on your plan, but on His presence. Before David ever held a sword, he learned to worship with a harp. Before he ruled as king, he ran as a fugitive. Why? Because thrones without trials produce rulers who can't carry the weight of leadership. Maybe the delay in your life is actually a layer of protection. God's not keeping it from you. He's preparing it for you and preparing you for it. And while that process is happening, your vision for what you actually need begins to change. Waiting peels back the layers. You start out praying, God, give me this thing. But as time passes, your prayer shifts. God, if it's not from you, I don't want it. The waiting room is where motives are tested. Ambition dies. Desperation is replaced with discernment. And suddenly, you're no longer chasing what you thought you needed. You're surrendering to what God knows you're ready for. Look at Abraham. He was promised a son, but when it didn't happen fast enough, he created his own solution. Ishmael was the result of impatience, but Isaac, the promise, came in God's time, and Isaac carried the covenant. Don't let your impatience produce something you weren't built to carry. But maybe what hurts the most is when you start to wonder if you missed